G'day everyone, welcome to the Opal channel. First I'd like to say thank you to everyone who subscribed and commented. It's kind of given me the encouragement just to keep going with this, so I will. And today's episode is going to be filmed in front of a live audience, but I'll be doing a carving, and it's a piece of shell. Get the camera to focus. This piece of shell, it's got some nice detail on it. I'm going to leave that side detailed and clean this side up for a pendant. Now what I did do is went to clean this up to get all the dirt off it with a brass brush, and it kind of left a layer of brass over the outside, which I've tried to wash back off again best I can, but a lot of it wants to stay in a way. So I thought after I finish this, just because it looked cool, I might do it over again with the brass and leave this side sort of polished. Look, with the brass coating, and I'll wipe as much as I can off, and if it stays, it stays, but it kind of gives it a bit of a brass bronze look. Anyway, I'll keep doing that. But first, these are all the bits I'm going to be using, and some cerium oxide. Going to start off 150 grit, then I'll move up to, whoops, skipped ahead, 400 grit, then 600 grit. And instead of bringing out the polishing tips, I'm going to do something different, because I'm not carving this intricately enough that I won't be able to get in there with a sanding disc, which, here's a little, can you put it, repurposing tip. So these little bits come with sandpaper that kind of wear down pretty quick, and I figured if I can pull them off and I get a bit of this stuff here, which is just Velcro with a sticky back, you sort of stick that on there and end up with this. So nice little Velcro pad, detachable, good for one of these bits. So with that, I also have over here some Velcro 1000 and 600 and 1000 grits with the Velcro that I can attach to that. So I'll go from the 600 grit bit to 600 grit sandpaper, then the 1000, and from there I might just polish it. That 1000 should get it pretty good for a pre-polish, and cerium's roughly 2000, so from 1000 to 2000 is a good jump. It'll just take a little extra polishing maybe. So that's the plan of that. And with the polishing, I think I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. Another little tip for repurposing. These little screw tips, I think they're for the felt wheels, but you just get a bit of dowel, drill a hole, screw this in nice and tight, centrally as you can, and just go up against a sanding wheel or something and just put it in your Dremel, turn your Dremel on, get it spinning, and then just shape a tip on it. And so this is what I use for the cerium oxide to polish with. It's just a wooden dowel, and it does the job. So they're the bits we're going to use, or I'm going to use, and this piece will be the plan of attack. So there's some nice colour in there. Not coming up too well on this camera at the moment. There we go. It's under that skin. There's a couple of bars. It sort of runs out right there, and then there's a bit on the edge here. It's got that cream bar running through the middle of it. It's a bit of broken shell. It says I got it, so I'm not really trying to hurt. This is a specimen that, you know, of a shell. So I'll just tidy up all the edges, get all these sharp corners off so it won't break away or anything any further, which is another reason I was trying to clean off with the wheel, just to get all the loose bits that are going to come off, but still leave as much detail as possible. And you can sort of see where it's been in the original shell would have been in the ground, and then the ground has shifted and squashed it there, and it's left a fracture line across there that the opal's perfectly matched in its construction. Preserved all that detail as well as the shape of the shell. So yeah, interesting piece. nice to keep it like that. I don't like destroying fossils, just to get a nice stone. You'd want to be, yeah, really worth it for me to do it. Otherwise, even then, yeah, I like fossils and carvings. So it's no problem for me to carve this. Anyway, I'm going to get set up. Got my tub of water here. I'll be working in. I'm going to time lapse this so it won't take too long for you guys, other than me ranting on. So yeah, I'll get in with that and start working on it. Alright, all set up. Got the 150 on. I might just start cleaning up the inside and the edges. And just have a quick peek before I get into it. And I will time lapse. But just so we can all see what lies under this layer. Sorry, what lies under this layer. Colour coming through. May not be a super bright gem, but definitely worth the effort. So I'll get on with this and time lapse it from here. well, you gotta laugh. That's not time lapse, so yeah, I'll try and make sure it's on time lapse next time. So I've edited the middle out of that. I'll just show the beginning and end of what I just did here. And yeah, it took about 10 minutes. But I've just gone around and tied it up with the 150. I'm not sure if that was a chip or what that is there. It's a little bit of a chip, so I might tidy that up with the next grip. But I've taken off most of the skin. I think there's still a bit more to come off, but so as not to chew on it too much, I'm gonna do the rest on the next grip. And the colour's coming through. It's not super bright. I'm not sure if it'll get much brighter, but it still has a skin on it. And at least it's mainly really a preservation of a fossil. And that'll be the other side, or could face that way, I suppose, and it'd be better facing that way, I think. Especially once the brass wheel's gone over it again. Anyway, I'll get on with this with the next grit. So I'm going to 400 now, and try and get the time lapse right. Ah dear. I think I got it that time. So slowly getting the old grits marks out with the 400, leaving those marks. Looks pretty even all over. So I'll continue on to the next grit. It'll be the 600, and then I'll be going to the sand disc 600. There's some really nice colour in there. It's starting to come out a bit more. And that side's deal with that chip a bit more. But yeah, so I'll get on with the next grit and see if I can get the time lapse right again. Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of it. Time lapse, that is. So that's coming up a little bit more, a little bit brighter actually. I didn't expect to get quite that bright in spots, but the colour's really showing up now. It's really good. And that's the 600 done. And I'm going to swap to the 600 grit on the little disc. It's as simple as getting one of these, opening that up, giving it a turn, let it click in, all set to go. So I'm going to have to cut a 600 piece and get back on with it. So I'll just cut this out and continue on. So that's after the 600. I've worn down a couple of pads to do that. It's a great little finish there. And I'm going to continue on to the 1000. So it's going on quite well, I think. It's a nice colour there after all of them. So onto the 1000 and then a polish. Okay, it's coming up quite nice, and there's a bit of an issue there. I think some of this is a bit breaks away in floory marks. So that's what that is there on that cream spot. So I won't be able to do anything about unless I chew the whole thing away, which I won't. So I'm going to start getting into it with a 1200 now, and I'm going to switch to a split mandrel on the Dremel with my little piece in there, because I'm pretty sure that'll get in on that little angle a lot easier than the disc pad does, because they seem to be, they kind of wear down a bit, and I go through a few trying to get the edges used up, but they disappear a bit quick. So maybe it wasn't the brightest idea, but it still worked. Just uses a fair bit. They were cheap pads anyway. So anyway, I'm going to fast forward and get this done in the 1200. All right, it's come out quite well. Beautiful little pre-polish. And I'm going to head on to the cerium oxide now. Some of this I will be able to do on my wheel, on the machine around the edges and that. Some of this I won't. But the bits I can get to are better done on a wheel than this way, but I will do most of it in here with the this piece. So I'll get this in the Dremel, and I'll get the cerium oxide ready and get on with it. Okay, here we are, nice and beautifully polished. Got a rough spot just there, but that's okay. Beautiful. So there we are. Just zoom back out. Away. If that does anything better for the colour. But beautiful colour. Really happy with the way that came out. Didn't have to go on the wheel after all. Oops. My job a bit easier. Shorter. So yeah, there we are. That's my carving. I might do another one. Now I'm in the mood for it. See what happens. I've got a jar full of some pieces ready to be carved. Some really good colour, so yeah, I just wanted to do a show every now and then. That one turned out quite well. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.